Hi everyone. I'm creating this video to show how to start a simple project in ArcGIS Pro, how to add data which has been collected from a GPS unit and is in the form of a shapefile, how to add that data to a map and then create a layout and print off a simple map showing that information. Okay, so first off, as you open up ArcGIS Pro, this is the screen that you'll see. I'm going to come over to the right hand side and choose a blank new project. Now I'm going to I can choose a location on my computer for that project and also give it a name. So I have a folder already created for this class where I'm going to put this. So I'm going to step back to the computer, go into Documents, and this class is Engineering 2240. Come into Labs, and here I have a Lab 1 folder. So I'll choose that folder and I'm going to name this project Lab 1 and Snow College Data. Lab 1 Snow College Data. And click OK. And ArcGIS Pro will create the project and step us into a different screen. Now this screen should look kind of familiar, at least the organization of the screen is similar to some of our other software that you'll find on computers. A lot of the Microsoft software follows kind of the same layout and form. So hopefully that's, you know, that is somewhat familiar to you. So I first start the project. The next thing I'm going to do, the catalog is open by default. A catalog is the place where you can navigate to different files and different tools, different things that are built within this software as well as what's on the hard drive of your computer. So it will be useful to us. But first off, we would like to create a new map. And so by default, we're on the Insert tab, okay, and I'm going to come and click New Map. And it's going to open a new map, and here along the top I can still go back to the catalog, but here I have the map open. You'll see that the map is also listed over here in the contents. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change our coordinate system to match the coordinate system that our GPS unit was collecting data. So I'm going to right click on Map and come down to Properties. And inside of Properties, I'm going to choose Coordinate System from the list here on the left. And underneath the Coordinate System, I'm going to look for Projected Coordinate System and scroll down. We were working in State Plane, and we were collecting information in NAD 83, Cores 96, US feet. And so I'll open up that section, that subcategory, and then since we're in Utah Central, I will navigate down to Utah Central and select that coordinate system. And I click OK. Now this is going to make the map look a little differently as it matches that projection. And so you see the United States kind of on this curve. The next thing that we want to do is we want to add the information that was collected. Now I have taken this data and that was provided, unzipped it or extracted it from a zip file and place it in a folder. Now if I come over to the right hand side in the catalog window, I'm going to look inside of folders and see if it's there. And the folder I place it into is not there, okay? Only the folder of the project. So I'm going to right click on folders and say add folder connection. Click on add folder connection. And then coming into where we're at here, I can see the folder of our project. On the computer, there's many folders. Let me navigate to where I place the data. And inside of this Lab 1 folder, I have Lab 1 data. And so I'm going to connect to that folder. So now that I've connected to the folder, the software can reach into the computer's hard drive and pull information from that particular folder that was in my documents. Now inside of Lab 1 data, as I look inside of there, you'll see I have the information from each group in the class. And I want to map each group, but for this video we're only going to map one of them. Maybe we'll do two of them. So I'm just going to take this and drag it out onto the screen, and those points should appear. Okay, I can faintly see these little green dots. I don't know if you can see them on your screen. So let's change the symbology of the points themselves. So just by clicking on the symbol that's underneath the name over here on the content side, and I'm just going to choose something really simple. Here's one that's set up by default in the software. I can edit those and change the colors of things if I'd like to, but this is sufficient for right now. And I have these points that are now mapped. As I zoom out on the map, I can see where they're at. I can pan around and see that they're here on campus. So let's go ahead and let's add. And so I'm going to come down to the bottom and click on Catalog, and let's add Group 2's data to the map as well. And again, they're really faintly colored symbols, so I'm going to change those as well to a different symbol. And I think I will do, maybe I'll do a triangle for this. If I come into Properties, I can change the color on those triangles, and let's make them green. And I'll apply that. Okay, so now we've got two sets of data applied to the map. Something else that I'd like to point out to you, if you would like to change the base map or what you see in the background, you can also do that. We still are on the Map tab, and we can change to Imagery. We can change to, so here you'll see the new science building, the noise building, and these locations are applied to imagery. You can also do like a topo map, terrain map. I'm going to leave mine on imagery for right now. I think I like how that looks. Okay, so I have all of the information added to the map, but this is not like a complete map. This is not something that we would print off to complete our project. So the next thing I'd like us to do is to come to Insert, and this time we're going to insert a new layout. Now as you do that, different paper sizes will come up. We're going to choose ANSI Landscape, and let's do letter size. So again, another tab comes along the top. Here's our layout page. So this looks like a sheet of paper that we'll actually print off. And let's add a map frame. Now you can see it added here a really big view of the entire, the whole world. If I click on the down arrow, there's a default and there's a map itself. So let's go ahead and delete this, and let's try adding a map. You'll see inside of the parentheses here a scaling of where the map's at, and it's going to center onto Snow College, onto the data that we have. Now it's not including everything, and unfortunately from the layout view I can't zoom in and out because my zoom will zoom the page. Okay, and I can't pan because that's just going to pan the window. I can adjust things from the map view, but there's a few toggles that I have available to us here. So first off, if I will come over to the map frame in Contents, right click and go down to Properties, one option that we have is to come to our second display options here to along this top menu. And here we can adjust the scale. So you can choose a scale that's predetermined or modify the scale yourself as you just enter different values. Now if I choose a scale of 1 to 5,000, this is what I'll see in terms of the appearance of the college. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I think our symbols are a little bit too big, so I can come back to the map, click on the symbol itself, and I can make it slightly smaller by changing it to 7 point. And I'll apply. And I'll do the same thing with our other symbols for the other group. I'll apply that and come back to the layout, and it looks a little bit better. Okay, I may also choose to scale in just a little bit more, maybe not 1 to 5,000, but maybe 1 to 3,000. And so I have those options to do that. So feel free to find the scaling that is most appropriate and best fits what we're trying to achieve. Now, a map layout, this is now a document that you could print out, but it's not complete. Every map should have 4 elements that you just can't forget. So the first of those elements, if I'll come to let's see, to the map itself. So you want to make sure that you're on the layout mode here, and then you can come to insert and you'll find what we're after. So we're after a north arrow. So I'm going to add a north arrow. I'm going to bring that outside of the map frame. Let me even make that a little bit smaller. So I'll include a north arrow here, and a north arrow is always required. I'll include a scale bar, and I'm just going to find one that I think will look good with this map. So I'll choose a scale bar. Now maybe I want the scale bar to actually fit over here, so I can change its size, and the scale bar will adjust. And maybe that would be best placed below, so I can drag that below and actually blow up its size again. But as I look at that scale bar, I may decide that I don't want that scale bar in miles. So I can come up to the Design tab up here at the top and actually change the units. And I can scroll up and find feet. Okay, which is probably more appropriate for this particular map. The next thing I'd like to insert is a legend. So I'm going to click and actually choose a location of that legend. And as I click on the legend, as I come right click and go to Properties, there's a few things I can choose to show. I can give the legend a name, and I can show its name and title. So the title is what you see here, legend. I'm going to show that. Now L1G2 doesn't mean very much to me, so I'm going to come back to the map and actually just right click on L1G2 and go to Properties and change its name. So I'm going to name it Snow College Benches and click OK. And I'm going to name L1G1 Snow College Trees. And I can't remember if it was trees. I think it may have been signs. Okay. And so with that set up, now we come back to layout, and you'll see that the legend has likewise updated itself. I'm just going to rearrange where everything is at. And try to make it look as nice as we can in a short video. Okay, so we always need to include a scale bar, a legend, a north arrow, and lastly, a title. Okay, so I'm just going to include text and write Snow College Lab 1. Now I would also include your name on here, so you'll want to add a text with your name. Let's see if I can center that. And I would probably change the text appearance and size so that it was very readable and easy to see that that's the title. Now this has just been an introduction to creating a basic map in ArcGIS Pro. With our layout completed here, you may think, well, how do I print this? And as you look along the top tab, you don't see a print symbol, and so where you'll need to go is to the Share ribbon, where you can export this and create a PDF. So you can export the layout using this button, save it as a PDF document. You can also print it by clicking here. So let's just export ours, and you'll see the Save As type is a PDF, and I can come in to Labs and save that in that Lab 1 folder, and we'll just say first layout. Well, let's call it Lab 1 map layout, and we export that document. It'll save it to the computer, and that's a PDF is a type that's easy to share with others through email, through as you upload that to the assignment description or to print it off. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.